recognize many of the faces behind me. They are among the most powerful men and women on the planet. They are also part of a global conspiracy, a shadow organization that spans across every continent and has for the last 3 decades, consisting of leaders in world government and the private sector. Some call this group the Cabal. The world you live in is the world they want you to think you live in. They start wars, create chaos, and when it suits them, they resolve it. Cabal members will move more money in the next quarter than the World Bank will in the next year. Their alliance affects sea change in every aspect of human life. The value and distribution of commodities, money, weapons, water, fuel, the food we eat to live, the information we rely on to tell us who we are.
What exactly do you expect us to do with this information?
Study it, investigate it to determine the truth, and then report it. Let me be clear. Investigating this group will immediately position you as a threat. If you do what I'm asking, you will be putting your lives and the lives of those you love at grave risk. In the end, the truth will out. Not all of us will live to see that day, but the truth will out.
This is the antimatter reactor, and this is where it sits in the middle of the craft. The little orange spot is where the antimatter reactor is. These are the gravity amplifiers, and what happens is they shoot protons into the 115, which bumps it up to 116,
all right.
which shows off antimatter, which is mixed with matter, and through a thermionic generator creates voltage out of heat. And they're able to take it up to the center of the craft and down to the sides and into the gravity amplifiers and focus on a point in space, increase the amplification that pulls that space towards the craft. It wraps around the craft, and then they turn it off, and they're instantly hundreds of thousands of miles away.
There's this idea in conspiracy theory, and I'm sure you've heard it if you've watched InfoWars or been in this sphere for a long time. It's sort of a form of predictive programming, but the idea is that these groups, these satanic occult groups, have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it in some form of ritualistic cleansing of their guilt. That by telling you what they're going to do, they therefore can do it with impunity. This is an aspect of the ritualistic process, where you have to let people know by signs or symbols or predictive programming stuff in TV. I think what it has to do with is, as we know, abuse or control of an individual or a small group like a cult or a nation. You can use the same techniques to a person as you can to a nation. And it has to do with getting the person to go along with their own abuse, to be a participant in their own abuse. And by getting the person that you're abusing, that you're controlling, to think that they're actually responsible for it, to think that it's their fault, then they become an accomplice as well as a victim to you. And it makes your control that much more solid. So the method of control for humanity is to get the person that you're trying to control to agree to and co-sign their own abuse. It's about morally being immune from blowback by getting your victim to go along with your exploitation and abuse. If I tell you I'm going to do this and you don't stop me, it's your fault. You can't blame me. I told you I was going to do this.
So this is 1968 on BBC. This is a year before the fake moon landing. They fucking told everybody. This is called Newsbenders from 1968. This wasn't made by a bunch of truthers. This is the fucking BBC. Told you this. And you still did it.
You're going to make this happen?
No. We're going to make models much cheaper than we photograph the models.
fake news reels.
Fake news. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake news reels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept.
If you play this frequency out loud, don't be surprised if gravity forgets how to work. Tartarian robotics were not engineered. They were acoustically instantiated through harmonic field imprinting. Their chassis formed at resonance nodes generated by the Jerukim frequency matrix. Frequency patterns that collapsed inertial frames into programmable matter. They contained no CPUs. Instead, crystalline harmonics acted as multidimensional storage lattices, storing intention in vibratory phase differentials. Control was achieved via neuroacoustic entrainment. The chronophonic Aeolian modulator created standing sound waves that induced state-specific behaviors, not through input but vibratory identity. Each joint, each limb, each mechanism was an antenna, tuned to frequencies emitted from the N-chionic array, which interfaced directly with quantum neurosomatic signatures. Their movement was not mechanical. It was quantum vibrational convergence, collapsing possibility space into precise kinetic sequences through wave field modulation. Energy wasn't stored. It was summoned acoustically from zero-point fluctuation arrays embedded beneath Tartarian grid structures. They didn't respond to sound. They were sound, shaped into matter, executing will through resonance. Warning: the chronophonic modulator changes your internal geometry if you're ready. This is not music. This is encoded resurrection data from a civilization that never died.